Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was just trading an evaluation there. Second entry short there to hit its target. So, excuse me 1 second. Let me just drop that there. I'm guessing something like that. Okay, so good afternoon. Or good morning, wherever you are. Hope you've had a great weekend. Hope everyone is well. Speedy, good afternoon. H, how you doing? Ionis, how are you? Okay, so you'll notice I got a few more PA accounts. One is 2 trades off a payment. So I decided to get a couple of more PAs. So I've got 5 total now, and I'll have 6 tomorrow. So I seem to be finding myself in a good place at the moment. Things seem to be going well. I don't seem... Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Bufas, how you doing, bud? Things don't seem to be affecting me like they used to. So, what am I doing here? So, yeah, everything seems to be in a good place at the moment. Let me just... it's all right. I was a bit focused on that trade. I took a second entry short there. Looked like we were topping out. I took a bit down there and a second entry short. I got the rest down there just to pass that evaluation. So let's just make sure everything's like it is, and we'll have a chat in a sec. Okay, so we do seem to be coming down. We have kind of been what looked to me like it's been topping off. We got a touch, and a touch. So I think it's probably likely now we're coming down in a bit of a channel. So looking for a couple of legs up to that EMA and see if we can get something. See if we can get in on the trade anyway. So, oh yeah, I hope everyone's... Incidentally, did anybody see that, what's her name, Kellyanne's video over the weekend about the Alpine's trader strategy? She thinks, well, she thinks she's sort of figured out what he's actually doing. And I think from what I can gather, she doesn't show you or trade, but she just tells you what it is, didn't show you working. But I think what it basically is, it's just a break out of a range. From what I can gather, it's I think she's got it. Yeah, isn't it? Doesn't she put a sell order at the top of the range and a buy order? So if we popped out the top, most of the time, see, when we break out of a range, we pull back in. So what I think she's doing isn't she doing like a sell order up here and a buy order down here, OCO? So if one triggers, because most of the time, if we are in a range and it breaks out, it'll come back in. So I don't know the what's it trader. There's a bit, no, the reverse. Okay, so she buys at the top and sells at the bottom. Used to do that. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I just had a quick browse on it. So, but do you know what I was thinking? If we're in a tight range like this, and you put a sell order above here, it breaks up, clicks a sell order. What's it more likely to do in a range? Come back in. So he streamed it this morning. What, live, did he? I don't know why he doesn't show people, because the trouble is he's got quite a few followers, isn't he? But the trouble is if they're not seeing him do it and someone else starts to do it, they'll move from him to someone else. So I don't know why he's concerned that Apex will have a problem with it. As far as I'm concerned, if anybody is making regular money out the market, they've got serious talent. And I'll take my hat off. They've got my respect. So why would it be a threat if you can to Apex if you can make money? I don't get it. If he's making, I don't know, let's say he's making $50,000 a month, okay? If they're copying his trades, they're making money, and they're also getting 10%. So hey, Mon, how you doing, buddy? Question is, how does he get 99% accuracy? Yeah, that's crossed my mind sometimes. Every single morning that you see him open his trades, he's green, which is unusual. But there's no other way possible that he's doing something right. You see his orders on his chart. I think he doesn't want people to copy his exact positions. No, I don't really know why, in all honesty. We may have a triple test here. Or is it just a failed break out of here? I don't know why, because I'll tell you something. There's a triple test there. That's a big bar, that is. Yeah, I ain't taking that. 1, 2, 3. There is a triple test there, but it hasn't broken above there. Otherwise, I may consider doing that. It's just too big, that is, that far down the rim. NQ moves so quickly in the morning. 26 has gone really easy. That's what he goes for, I think, isn't it? On his charts. I think he doesn't want... Yeah. I don't really know why. If he's making that much money and he's concerned Apex won't like it, why bother streaming? Why stream? If he's making... it did come back. I was interested in that, but it was 16 ticks, 17, 18 ticks. It's just not worth it. You don't know how far it's going to go down. But I wouldn't, if he's that concerned, I wouldn't risk streaming. Because word's getting around how much money he's earning. So, but in all honesty, I don't think it's a problem. There's a lot of people earning good money on Apex. There's people earning a lot more than him. So I don't know why he's concerned. But the trouble is, the more people that talk about it, the more times they'll watch it, and, the more word will go round. And Apex will find out. I don't see what the problem is, though, but I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, if anybody's making money out of the market, they've got my respect, because I know how hard it is. But I don't know why he's concerned. What there's traders out there making millions, and I mean millions. So why would Apex be concerned with him? I mean, crikey, if Apex decided to get rid of him or stop his strategy, there'd be uproar. How can you stop someone who's making money? I don't know what he's worried about. But the trouble is, if someone else sort of figures out what he's doing, he'll start to lose people, and he'll go towards him. Not that it makes a difference. He's making plenty of money. But no. There's been a little bit of discussion, though. If I understand it, Kellyanne, right, it's just a 15-minute. It sounds like it, yeah, as old as... Exactly what I've been saying. There's thousands of ways to make money out of the market. If we think we've got something unique, we haven't. It's already been done. So, yeah, I agree. There's been people... If there's a way of making money out of the market, someone's already done it. He's just cottoned onto it somehow and... maybe tweaked it slightly and called it himself. Well, if hey, Rodin, how you doing, bud? Talking about, the Alpine guy and Kellyanne as well. That picture she posted, I hope that's a correct picture, because she's stunning. I hope she's not a 25-stone spotty 60-year-old. But no. There is a second entry short there. I'm quite tempted. Let me have a look.
Order submitted.
Let's see how it finishes first. There is a second entry short off the key entry point. No, I ain't getting involved.
Order cancelled.
I've been doing that ever since ES. Have you really? Yeah. There's loads of ways of earning money out of the market. I think because people know how much he's earning. And he's put something sort of mysterious on it. Oh, I'm not telling anybody. It's some sort of secret thing. And I think that's what stirred up lots of people talking. And not only that, lots of people are trying to figure out what he's doing. It's no secret, is it? It's like Mac. Where did Mac get this from? He got it from Al Brooks, I believe, and tweaked it to his own. We all pick a strategy. I mean, I've learnt Mac's strategy. I don't follow exactly the same as Mac. I've tweaked it slightly to my own. I take a little bit more in the way of points. So I think he's just concerned for nothing, really. But it's certainly got some interest, and it's got some people talking, which I think is always a good thing, isn't it? But yeah, Marlon, I agree. Yeah, I am quite shocked how right he is a lot of the time. Every single time you switch on his chart, he's up, he's green. It's unusual. So I think that's why people are interested. How can he be right so many times? You know, there's a bit of mystique around it, isn't there? But, you know, there are traders out there who are very good at what they do. They're very connected to the market, and they, you know, so I don't know what the answer is. But there's no, one thing I've learned over the 3.5 years I've been learning to trade, there's no magic bullet. Nothing. There's no easy way of making money. You can make money, and a lot of money, but you've got to be very good at what you do. You know, there's no sort of magic thing that if you follow this, you're going to make the same money as him. I think he's worried. His seed takes $2,000 from PA and doesn't try to consistently grow. Yeah, that's crossed my mind, Jay. Are Apex going to say to him, well, hold on a minute. Every time you get a PA, you're withdrawing. You're not growing it. They may change a rule that you can only do it so many times. You know, you can only blow and renew PA accounts, I don't know, twice a month or three or something like that. Yeah, I understand that side of it, which is why if I was him and I was earning that sort of money and I was concerned in the slightest that I was doing something slightly unorthodox, I would just stop streaming. Problem solved. No one knows what you're doing. So, you know, but Apex aren't stupid. They're paying him a lot of money. They'll know how he trades. They'll have looked how he trades. At the end of the day, what does it matter if he's making money? Surely we're all after doing the same, aren't we? So, I don't know. Market structure trade on YouTube has loads of yeah, I agree, mate. I had a bit of a look this morning, and there is loads of them. There was a British guy. Where is it? There was a British guy I was looking earlier. Let me just look at my history. Okay, so we've got this channel down here. A couple of attempts to go higher. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's find my history. Where is it? I gotta say, I don't know whether that... I mean, is that her picture? Is that her? Is it? It is in my head, put it that way. Let's have a look. Where is it? I think that open range breakout. Yeah, I think that was earlier. That was one I was net pick smart trading open range breakout. There's loads of but yeah, you're right. There is loads of stuff. So I started using ORB from Tom Hoggard. Oh, there you go. Tom Hoggard's been around for years, hasn't he? No, I only found out Tom Hoggard a couple of months ago was the one who wrote what's it called? What's the book? Best Loser Wins. I didn't realise it was him. That was maybe, yeah, exactly. I mean, we think Mac's got a unique strategy, and it kind of is to him. But I believe Mac learnt it from Al Brooks and then tweaked it to its own way. It's like the same again. Mac goes for that strategy, but he goes for a point. I've tweaked it to what I feel works for me, and that's how the world works. You know, we all learn something from somebody. You can't do any job on the planet without learning it from some way, and every time you learn something, you do it with your own sort of style, don't you? So, is that a measured leg? I think we're probably likely going up here to break these highs. Is that a measured leg? But no, I like the fact that it's got people talking. Close enough. I may put that there. No, let's put it there. But it has got people talking, and I kind of like that. I always like new streamers as well, because it gets people talking, doesn't it? He live streamed a few years ago on YouTube. It was the first time I ever saw a profitable trader trade live. Yeah, strange, isn't it? I hadn't heard of it until that woman mentioned it. That Kelly mentioned it. But she seems nice enough. But, you know, I think it's any trader's job to try and improve and look for ideas. And if you come across the way someone's doing something, then they seem to be good at it. It's human instinct, isn't it? If you see someone making a lot of money, you automatically want to figure out what they're doing. You know, it's perfectly normal. But good luck to her, that's what I say. I'm surprised we haven't filled this gap yet. Are we just retesting these highs? But yeah. Yeah, but orbit's called, isn't it? Range breakout. See, I must have misunderstood it. I must have misunderstood it because I was thinking about it actually. So maybe I was thinking it the opposite. If the market's going sideways when it opens, which it did, if you put, say, a buy order below this line and a sell order above it, most of the time it'll break out and pull back into the range. So if you put a buy order down here, I mean, it's hard to say really, you have to put it down here. So if you add that, say, as the range, that was the lower the range, this was the higher the range. So if you put a buy order below this line and leave it there, and a sell order above that line, usually if it breaks out the bottom, it'll pull back in. So if you put a buy order here, just before the open, so the open's here, so you've got a buy order down there and a sell order up here, it goes sideways, pushes through, clicks your buy limit order, pushes up, makes your points. I would have thought that would have worked, because usually if we're in a range, if it breaks out, it'll pull back in. So if you put a sell order up there, it'll pick your sell order up and then come back in and make your money. If you went for, maybe if you went for like a point or two from there, let's say you went for 2 points. So if you put a buy order maybe a couple of ticks below this line, it picked it up there and you're out here already. So every day he'd make euro 20, 30k, would he really? God, that is serious money, isn't it? That's the type of money I dream about making a month. Yeah, I bet it did, mate. It's natural, isn't it? You see people making money and you want to find out what they're doing. Yeah, I absolutely get that. So let me just remove this a minute. I don't necessarily think we are ranging. Let's just for now put that there, so we know we've got some support there. So this just may be a channel, which I think it is. We're touching in 3 places. We're touching in 3 places there. We've had a break, 2 measured legs down, or bar a tick or 2, and now I think we're pushing up to break these highs. That's what market usually does. Now, we've been up to this level before, so whether we will actually break it or not, but I think there's a fair chance we're going to fill that gap before the end of the day. Okay, so you could say that is a channel with a break. One, 2 pushes up to a new high, or it could be slightly wider. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. See, it's definitely a channel, isn't it? We touch twice, touch again. It's definitely a channel, but there's also a lot of range type looking stuff going on. And we bashed this, and I actually went short here. That second entry short on an evaluation. That's why I passed that. I went short with 10 contracts, and it was a second entry short, and with I'd be pretty certain there'd be some longs in there for the range, but because it hit here so many times, it had to have a flush down. So I went short there, and that's what passed me that evaluation. Whenever it flattens off like this, it's losing momentum and it needs a bit of a break, doesn't it? So are we now going to... Let's have a look. Let's put that there. There is a second entry long, but it's just congested, so I'm staying out of this. It is concerning me that that's flattening off. Are we going to struggle to get up before we come down? I think the safest way to do this is to take a long down here. If we can break below there and close above that EMA, that to me is just risky. It probably worked, but it's risky, I think. In fact, on the NQ, there's a nice long setup there. Well, there would have been nice second entry long if that had finished bullish. It may be enough. We've broken above this. We've come back 2 legs and tested the top of this line. So it's a shame that wasn't a bit more bullish, because that may have encouraged some buyers there. Second entry long off the key entry point. It may still work, but I think this trade for me is risky. It's too far from the main. It's right at the top. It may work, but if I'm going to take a trade, it's going to be below here somewhere. So let's have a look at that NQ. There may be a better second entry long sitting up there. It's got a little double. Is it double? Not quite a double bottom, but we're bouncing off this again. Let's just push that up a touch. Yeah, touching a few times there. So we have touched this a few times. So that, to me, if it finishes bullish, it's relatively bullish. It is a second entry long there. I think that's a nice trade personally. So I think it's likely now that this is just going to continue on up. It is a second entry long. So, but the trouble is, when we've had this, it could just fail. It's broken out of this, although that's the trouble sometimes when you got conflicting things. As let's just bring this down a sec. We've got this sort of upwards bit, but then we've got this flat bit. Yeah, it is failing. And then we've got that. Oh, I've just done it. We've got this at me, so it's like an ascending wedge, isn't it? I'm not quite sure how these work. Does it break out to the top, come back and retest this line and push up? I don't really know. I don't know how these tend to work. Do they go out the top and come back and then push up? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not really a pattern person, but I think it's certainly useful to know how they work. That looks to me like it's coming down, I think. I wonder if he's got any of his live streams still available on YouTube, Rodian. That'd be interesting to have a look. So would I fade this? No, because we've already made a new high. Will it work? Possibly. See if we get a higher low, because I'd like to see these retested. Okay, little double bottom here. That's tempting. Woof, there we go. Up to the highs. Yeah, it's only really a first entry, unfortunately. I wouldn't want to trade that as a failed breakout, because we literally closed. Well, we closed so close to the top. It was 14, was it about 12, 13 ticks? Tick above tick. I'm not risking three and a quarter points on that. Just clicked over to Alpine. He's having a rough morning. Oh, is he really? That's ironic, isn't it? We're talking about him. I don't think I've seen him lose accounts. Didn't he lose 23,000 once? But that wasn't from his morning strategy. I'm pretty sure that was trading in the afternoon. Because I did hear him say once he doesn't want to make the streams boring, so he was trading in the afternoon and not doing a very good job of it. So why would you throw away your bread and butter money just to make it interesting for a stream? It just doesn't make sense. Hope he makes it back. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. He had that big loss, didn't he? 25,000, and he just came back and made a ton of money again. So whatever he's doing, he's good at it. You know, you can say a lot about people. Some people get funny about people making money. I don't. I like to see people making money because it gives me hope. You know, if they can do it, I can do it type thing. It's nice to see people making good money because most of the people, if you think about this, we've talked about this before, most of the people we know making money in Apex, you don't hear about apart from their name on the payments list. And you always question, I've had people saying, I think that's fabricated, blah, 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 but we actually now know the guy that's making the money, so I like it, I do. But he's had a rough day before. 23 or 26,000 he lost before. But he just came straight back and made it all again. So, no, I think he'd do all right. What are we doing here? We're obviously trying to make a new low. We've had a quick break out the bottom and a push out the top. Big, strong bar, triggers, comes down, stops out. So, yeah, I think he'd be okay. Another guy I like to see doing well is Nutty. He's a nice guy, he is. Really friendly guy. And he's having a few payments as well. So I like to see him doing well. Sorry. He's a nice guy, Nutty is. For a ginger. No, he's all right, actually. He's a nice guy. Nutty's cool. He is. He's a nice guy, isn't he? He's a nice guy. He's very good at streaming, actually. He makes it quite fun. Trades by Travis is good. Yeah, I've spoke to Travis a few times. In fact, he came on the stream a couple of months back. I think he was on here, and Nutty was on, and someone else. But yeah, there's nice people out there. The thing I like about trading is none of us are in competition with each other. You know, if we had businesses and, you know, you were taking my customers and clients, I can understand there's a bit of animosity, but the thing about trade is it doesn't matter. There's no competition. So, you know, I like helping each other and supporting each other. It does, because it's tough business and sometimes you need a bit of a pat on the back and don't worry about it, stick it out type thing. So I want a second entry long here, ideally. But yeah, I think Nutty, didn't he have 30 grand's worth of payments, I think, didn't he? So good for him. I'm a little bit concerned about this. And I'll tell you why. There is some support along that. Okay, that's just come straight back and gone straight up. So I was concerned that we're struggling to make momentum. And then this came back, that closed, and woof, up it went. So I can see this. I was going to say breaking the new highs here, but that may get stopped out. It's a bit of a... it's a weak position, that. It's far from here, and it's right at the top to this, so I won't be surprised if that gets stopped out. Yeah, NQ, yeah. Quick question for you guys. You know, I use the NQ as well as like an anchor chart. Do you guys want me to put it back on the screen as it was? So you can see it alongside the... I had it down here in a corner, didn't I? So you can see it. Or are you okay with just as things are now? I don't mind swapping stuff around if it makes it, you know, better for you guys. Just let me know. If you want both, just put both. If you're happy with the way things are, just, you know, just put... leave it or whatever. Both or just ES. Or put ES or both. I don't mind. I got no problems with it. It doesn't really make a difference for me. The only trouble is, once I took it away, I'm constantly dragging it in. So, okay, that's interesting. There's a failure there. Maybe trapping some shorts. I don't know. It's too far down for me, I think. I'm a bit concerned about this. We sort of made a bit of a double top there. And if you take that double top and go left with it, it's hitting extra support. So I think this is a failure. So I'm going to get... That's a failure, surely, isn't it?
Order submitted.
Let's see how this finishes.
Order filled.
I've been trapped here. Oh, I thought that was a nice failure. I'm going to give that an extra tick. Yeah, this is going to go second entry long, isn't it? I'll give it an extra tick. See if that extra tick helps me out here.
Order filled.
There we go. Beautiful. See, that extra tick makes a difference sometimes. It was a failure, but it just got pushed up an extra tick. See how that extra tick can make a difference? If you look back on some of Mac's older videos, you'll see he makes 2 to 3 ticks. Well, it wasn't actually a good trade in a sense. It was a failure, but it triggered me, went to stop me out. Now, in a lot of these... There are certain times where I give it an extra tick, but you see how it went to take it out for a tick and then ended up coming down and giving me what I... So you've got to be so careful. It did what I expected it to do. You got to be careful with those. Well, I stopped some traders out, but I quite often give it an extra tick because you just don't know, do you? So there was a little extra luck there, and just that insight, or foresight, just to take an extra tick. So let's call it a failed second entry long, and I got 2.5 points out of it, plus 2.5 points. That extra tick helps you a lot. It does. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have got much more out of it. What did it go down? I think I got about as much as was available. See, I went there. I think I went actually on the nose, didn't I? Oh no, I went a couple of ticks below it. So I got in about there. So I must have just got the full whack there. Everything that was available. So there was definitely some luck there, that's for certain. There is an element of luck sometimes in trading. You know, we've all heard the phrase, your trend's your friend. And sometimes... but this is... I thought, to be honest with you, it struggles multiple times, and you can bring that down... And look how many times you can see it's struggling. It hasn't closed above there. Same again there. So leg in a leg. I mean, it may still trap some longs and come down. So there was a little extra luck there, I think. So there was longs in there. Second entry long or 2 legs back. Longs which triggered. Stopped out. So yeah, it's a bit trappy, isn't it? Trap there, managed to just, luckily I gave it an extra tick. Yeah, if you guys look back on some of Mac's older videos, often he gave 2 to 3 ticks. And I've heard him say, often, sometimes when you get trapped, when you get sort of stopped out, usually, in a lot of cases, it's for a tick and it ends up going where you sort of expected it to go anyway. So I just started giving an extra tick. I did the same a couple of weeks ago. I gave an extra tick and it worked. It doesn't always work, but I still think it's worth it for me in certain circumstances. So this is getting a bit trappy now. This is... We've pushed up and gone sideways. I would have liked to have seen a new high. We may do, but we are struggling to get up. And we'll only struggle for so long before it'll just start to come down. So I have a feeling we may do this. We've struggled a bunch of times to go up once, twice. We've struggled again, and we're still coming down. So I think there's a possibility of a little channel there. So I put my stop 1 tick above there. So even if those 2.5 points wouldn't have triggered through, it came back up. It still wouldn't have stopped that out anyway. So I'd have got my points anyway. This to me looks like it's coming down, I think, anyway. We've tried multiple times to go up, and I would say now I just don't think it's going to happen before we come down a little bit lower. Okay, second entry short, push up here, it'd be nice. In fact, I was watching a guy streaming last week. I don't know what he was streaming, some other account, but he's got heart rate monitor on. It's quite funny to watch. His heart rate was flitting around about 90 beats per minute. And then when he went into a trade, it went bright red and went up to about 140 beats per minute. People the things people do for views. I've got to say, he took 2 trades and lost them both. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen that. He does a heart rate monitor on. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, it just goes to show the shit we go through, doesn't it? I considered looking at my heart rate actually when I'm in a trade just to see where I stand. But yeah, it's hilarious. Where's Sam today? Is Sam trading today, is he, or is he off? I think if Sam's working, he usually sort of starts when I finish. So if you guys want to watch someone trade, Sam does it from, I think most of the time he does it from around about 5:30 UK time, because he's usually at work, I think. I can't see it at the moment. Oh, he's got nothing down. Okay. Bedtime for me. Yeah, YouTube. I'm basically done, mate. I'm quite happy to not take anything else. I am, to be honest with you. But yeah, you take it easy, Rodian. Go and have your beauty sleep, mate. Okay, now there is kind of a bearish bar off that bottom, and I'm guessing that'll probably work. Unfortunately, it's too far for a lower high. It is technically a failure, I suppose, but it's a little bit stacked up here, so I wouldn't be shocked. I would have suggested it work, but I'm just... Because I'm a trade up, I've got 5 PAs at the moment, so I'm like about $1,200 up. So I don't want to risk it by taking something that's a little bit stacked. Not only that, another thing that's put me off slightly is we got a channel down here. The trouble is we're right at this very bottom of the channel, so it could push up quickly. Whether it will or not, I don't know. So that's another reason why I'm not taking that at the moment, because a lot of the times when we get back here, we did there. Look what happened to bars and pushing right up. So it may just break above there. So I'm just... I want obvious trades, really. It did work, so if you took that one, I'd say you'd comfortably got 2 points off it. Easily, yeah. On the positive side, it did test the underside of that, but it's just a little bit stacked. And with it being a little right at the bottom on the NQ, I just wanted to sit tight there, so... excuse me, just for a quick minute, I was going to take a quick bathroom break. I've got to say I am kind of loving that 1 day pass at the moment, especially if you can manage to pass it in 1 day. I wasn't sure initially. I thought it might, and it probably does for some people, but I think it suits some people but not others. Okay, so we're down at the bottom. That's an overshoot of this channel, so see if we get a higher low here. I would expect that. So we got this channel up, maybe 2 attempts to go low. Maybe we will push up for another leg, or maybe. I think in a lot of cases, don't we usually try and fill this gap? Okay, so we got a little double bottom there. Let's see what happens. I'm not getting involved here. I'll be surprised if that doesn't get stopped out. It may hold because there is a little double bottom there, but I wouldn't want to be in that, in all honesty. Nothing worse than to seeing it trigger one tick and then start to come towards you. May hold because there is a double bottom and it is off of support. There is some support there, so maybe it'll hold. No. Suppose it's too much of an easy target, that, isn't it? Trigger it, stop it out. Now what we're going to do. So that worked nice. I suppose on the one hand it is we come down, didn't we, and we pushed up, we touched the one side, we pushed above it, but closed one tick off its low, so we've tested the underside of that twice now, so yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. I think the only thing that was put me off at the time was we were down here right at the bottom of the channel on the NQ, so normally we're at the bottom of the channel there, we push up. The next time we're at the bottom of the channel, we pushed up again. So my concern was we started pushing up. So if I went short there, it pushed up above there. So that's why I left that. It is a little bit stacked. We have made multiple attempts to push higher and it's failed. And it did the same again. So I think it's likely it's going to come down. There has been a few setups today. That was one there I took on an evaluation. That was it, that one there? Yes, second entry short. That was a nice trade, that was. I like that. clearly struggling here. We start to come down. We have two really nice little legs up and a bearish bar, and then that just came straight down. Second entry short there. That's one as well. I thought it was okay. That one there. There's going to be some longs in there for sure, thinking we're going to continue up, and then it just triggered them by maybe a point, less than a point, and then straight down. So I don't think we got Mac this week. Is he still away, isn't he? I think he's away all week, isn't he? Oh no, hasn't he gone on not a safari? Is it a cruise he's gone on or something, isn't it? Caribbean cruise. I'd love a cruise. My wife's stressed out about boats. I don't know why. So, are we going to fail and push back in? There may be a spike in a channel there. Bit of a spike. A channel down. Or is that wishful thinking? Interesting. Possible short there. I wonder. Have we got a two-tiered channel? In that case, that's kind of a nice looking bar. Unfortunately, it's only really a first entry. Okay, second entry short there. It's stacked up, so I ain't taking it. Get a lower high, and that may be a different story. So let me just adjust this and see how this fits. I don't think it fits too bad, actually. We got it. Touch, 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 touch. I can move that up a fraction. That actually doesn't look too bad, I don't think. It does look like a bigger channel. It has triggered that short there, but it is a bit stacked. Is it going to hold? It's hard to say. That's another place where I'll put an extra tick if I was in that trade. I'd like to see, I'd like to see it break a tick above that bar and come down as a lower high. I think it's likely it's going to come down. You just never know, do you? It is a little bit stacked. If I was trading the valuation, I'd jump in now and take that trade on a limit order a little bit back. If we look on the NQ, we got a. It does look like a. I don't know, whatever, but there is a channel down there, and it is a second entry short. So from what I'm seeing on the NQ here, I'll be surprised if it doesn't work. And maybe that body needs to be a little bit closer to that EMA like it is there, but we'll see. We've got a channel down there with a break. I think it's likely it's going to come down. Whether it'll take that out first, I wouldn't have said so. I mean, and we are very tight on that EMA on the ES, but I'd say this is more likely going to come down. But the fact that it's a bit congested just upset the equilibrium a little bit, and it could just pop up, tick you out, and then come down. From what I'm seeing here, I think it's likely it's going to continue down at least to these lows, but whether it does it now or whether it does it without ticking above there, I'd say if you're in a bar there, that's probably your safest bet anyway. You're probably in the safest place you can be. I wouldn't have taken that one or anything a bit lower. Trouble is, when it goes sideways, you just never quite know. It can change things a little. If it starts going sideways. Do you know what? I can actually make that fit even better. Okay, we got a perfect touch there and a perfect touch there. In fact, I can swing that just a fraction. Yeah. Perfect, perfect. That red bar, perfect. So I actually like that channel now. So I can see that gap being filled. So leg. The trouble is, there's always that possibility we could have a leg up and another leg and then continue on down. But the fact that it's stacking up, it just does make things a little bit more trickier. It may push up here, trigger that short out, and then drop and give us a failed breakout of a bearish bar, leg and a leg, and then come down. It's a fair sized bar if I remember rightly, that anyway, so Go a tick below it and a tick above it. That's not as big as I thought. It's around about 3¼ points. The tick above, tick below it, but it's just been taken out now. See if that extra tick makes a difference there. So let's call that a first attempt to go higher. That would be a second attempt to go higher. It is weird how it just takes it out for one tick. It knows where stops are going to be, doesn't it? But that's, see, if that one helped me out with a tick, and that one would have done. I mean, it isn't finished yet. It could continue over, but the way that's starting to drop. I choked up on it and set a limit order for 2 points. Got out lucky. Good on you, mate. I think normally now I can look at a setup and I either feel good or I feel uneasy about it. And if I feel uneasy about it, I wait for a lower high. And I think really you see a certain picture here, and when you've been in trades that have lost in the past, that picture is embedded in your brain, because when you've got money invested in it, and we know there's a psychological connection, so it's not something I'm taking a glance at, it's something I'm focused on. So that picture stays in my head. So if you get stopped out, whenever you get a picture like that again, something in your brain says, I've been here before. You know, we've all been to a city, haven't we, or a town 5 years ago or whatever, and you go back there and you think something's familiar here. So if you lose a trade here and that sticks in your mind, so whenever you see this picture again, you get an uneasy feeling. See what I mean about this? I wouldn't be shocked now if that point, you only learn when you have skill. Absolutely. You think I've focused. If I were to trade here, I'd be glued on this, panicking, stressed, wouldn't I? Trust me, you know what? You know our brain's capable of holding billions of bits of information. And if you've taken a trade here before, when that starts to go stacked up before, I've been in trades like that when I've lost. So straight away, I get an uneasy feeling, which is why I'd be then looking for a lower high. Now, that to me, a lower high is a much safer indication we're continuing on down. And what you'll find is when you stay out of these and they go against you, it makes you feel good. You feel like you're actually getting somewhere and learning. And I did mention sometimes if it does push up, we may get a leg and a bearish bar, you know, fail breakout, and it might come rushing down. So, but I think you will get to the stage, because I find I am, where you'll just look at something and thinking, I love this, or something makes me feel uneasy. And I think if you have that feeling of uneasiness, something doesn't feel right, I think that's a good indicator, because you'd be amazed what that brain of ours can hold. And when you've been in a scenario before, when you've been stopped out, lost money, something seems familiar and you get an uneasy feeling about it. Yeah. So I trust that gut instinct now. And it's learning to trade. It's, you know, I used to hear Max saying, oh, it's skilled, it takes years to learn, it's like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. I used to think, how can it be? Or you're just trying to work out what's going on. But the more I do it, the more I realise it is a real skill that takes years to, and you know, I suppose in a strange sense, it's like being an experienced driver. Now, I don't compare the two. Obviously, one's a lot more, but what you'll find is when you've been driving years and someone pulls out in front of you, your feet and your brain automatically take over. Now, an inexperienced driver would panic. They'd be looking down, hitting the brake. They wouldn't be sure what to do. But I've been driving, and I've been driving HGVs, and I can operate. You know, sometimes if we've been in a sticky situation and I just automatically, my wife looks at me and say, why are you so calm? I'll say, because I've been in this position so many times over the years. I don't even have to think about it, because I've built up this fine-tuning skill with that right foot on that pedal for years and years. And it's a similar sort of thing. I'm not comparing it to, I'm just using it as an example, but it is a real skill list that it's getting a feel for it and understanding. And, you know, and like Max says, it is like learning a language. we can all spend 6 months and learn a language and fire off a couple of questions, but once you start getting into a conversation with people, you completely fall apart. And it is getting to that stage with a language. I mean, I don't speak any other language. I know, I think Brits are famously known for being ignorant when it comes to languages. We tend to think everyone else will speak English. Now, I know a lot of you US guys, I think a lot of you guys will speak things like Spanish and stuff. Maybe sort of a lot of European, French and all that speak English, speak other languages. But, the Brits, they tend to not really. That bearish bar, I think, is a good trade. Leg and a leg. Big strong push up there. Triggers it, comes down. Now, I may be wrong, but yeah, we are a bit ignorant. And I think, I started to learn a bit of Spanish when I was driving. I got a couple of CDs and started to learn a bit of Spanish. And, you can ask for this and ask for that and ask for confirmation of this and that and the other. But when you start to get into a live conversation with someone, you're just crippled and you're on your knees. So, and I think it's the same. We get to learn to trade, and you've been doing it maybe a year or two, and you can get a couple of trades right, but you're still going to struggle. And the more you've been doing it, that language eventually becomes second nature, and you can just look at it and go, yes, I like this, and sort of, no, I don't. So push up, sideways, push up. We've had a leg and a leg. That looks to me like it's going to fail. That looks like a channel with a little bit of uncertainty. So I would say this is going to make some points. Learning Spanish myself as an American. First thing I learn is I am learning Spanish. Can you speak Spanish? I remember when I was about 21, I got the train from the UK. I got the train from where I live in Shropshire down to London, and then got another train. Was it on a boat? I got on a boat over to Luxembourg, and then got on a train through Luxembourg, and I went to Austria, to cut a long story short. And I spent a little bit of time working in a resort in Austria, in a ski resort, and then went to France, and I worked in a little town in the French Alps called Val d'Isère. It's a relatively well-known place. If for all you skiers out there, you'll have heard of Val d'Isère. And after the season ended, I ended up getting that we'd had some really bad snow, so me and about 10 others got a minibus from, I think it was Chambéry in France, to Lyon, and then we got the train from Lyon to Paris. And I remember I was in Paris, and I could hardly speak I knew how to ask for a beer, all the important things, and where the toilet was. But I remember asking a woman in a ticket office, I asked her in France, did she speak English? And she told me in perfect English, no, she didn't. But yeah, we the English are a bit ignorant. We tend to think English is everyone's first language when it obviously clearly isn't. We tend to let everybody else rely on speaking our language, so we're a bit ignorant there. But yeah, this is definitely like learning to be fluent in a language, isn't it? And I got to say, the longer I trade, I remember trading this. I'd done 6 months as a complete beginner, learning to trade Forex, and then I moved on to futures, and I traded it for a month, and I just happened to trade where we had a nice sort of steady trend going on for a while. And I ended up getting 3 or 4 days of winning trades. So I just finished my job, jacked my job in on a Friday, said to my wife, I'm going to be a trader, not to worry. I put £5,000 of my own money in it, and within about 2 to 3 weeks, I lost it all. Because it's very easy to get a few winning trades, and you're thinking, I can nail this. But the more you do it, the more you realise how complex it is. And in trading, there's nothing, from my opinion, the way I see it, is it's not black and white. There's so much in the way of grey area. And the context of what's going on in the market is it's the Adam and Eve. It's the be-all and end-all. Learning the strategy, the setup that we go for is the easy bit. Applying it at the right time, at the key, these key points or key entry points, what we call them, with the context of the market in the right direction is absolutely everything. And the longer I've been doing it, the more respect I have for this business, how difficult, because I know how hard it is. And not only have you got to learn to apply and to read the market so you can understand the context of the market. You've then got this whole other dimension of the psychological side of it. So, it's like a damn difficult job with another damn difficult job to do at the end of it all. But I like a challenge. If someone says to me, you can't do something, that's the worst thing to say to me. I'll either do it or I'll die trying. So I kind of like the fact that it's hard. I wished it was easier, I could make money quicker, but I like the fact that when I earn money from it, I'm going to have deserved it. But yeah, it's really tough to learn to be a trader. It's got a massive failure rate, and I'm still convinced the reason is because it's a lot of people give up, and I absolutely get it. This is the only job I've ever done in my life that has literally brought tears to my eyes. So it messes with your mood, it messes with your emotions, it can change you a little bit. I've had days where my wife has said to me, I used to dread you coming down from trading. I used to dread those words, I'm down or I've blown an account, because I've blown hundreds. But slowly over time, it's affected me less and less. And I think that's how it works. You can't have those emotions exactly the same every day. The more you're exposed to them, the more they'll start to become not as a big part in your life. I'll tell you what, my wife's just come home from work, speaking of the devil. I'm just going to have a quick 5-minute break and make a quick cup of tea. I think I've talked enough at the moment. I'll be 3 to 5 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Let's have a look. Okay, so leg. So that one worked an absolute treat, that one. So I think that was a good trade, personally. Oh. Failed breakout of a range. Nice sort of second entry short, trapping those longs. We've gone a bit sideways. We push up, we come back, push up again. Trapping some longs, leg down, and there we go. So from what I'm seeing lately, we do seem to be getting some more trades again. It had gone really difficult lately. There's just not been a lot of setups, but last week, much better. So far, second entry short there, maybe a failure. There's definitely been some more trades. So that's good news. So that could take us, would more or less close that gap, not quite. So not far off that gap. It'll probably break below anyway. That's only a few ticks below. I think that's only a point or somewhere in the region of there, isn't it? Yeah, point somewhere in there. $15.32. What about here? That one there. Yeah. I had alarm bells on that. It's a bit sideways here. I think Max says 3 and more side-by-side bars. Well, you got through there straight away. So whenever we get that, I always wait for the higher low. We never had one. I think the higher low then is an indication. It could have gone down. But I think the safer option is to wait for the, sorry, higher low, my mistake, lower high. We touched here, touch there, touch there. So good lesson there for sure. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people get frustrated, and I used to when you used to lose a trade. It's frustrating, but it really is how you learn. You learn way more from your failed trades. If you win a trade, you don't really learn anything, do you? You know, you can take a bad trade and it can still work, but you do learn when you'll only do this so many times, and then when you start to see this, you'll start to go, oh, remember what happened last time? But, you know, the safer option is to wait for the lower high. We never had it, and it ended up working on up, but we had the failed breakout then. 2 legs up, second entry short, trapping the longs is always good. And then down we come. So I'll be looking for a second entry short up here somewhere. Let me just see what that NQ's doing. Yeah, I think there is like a 2-tiered channel there. It's working there and there as well, so I don't actually think that's that bad. Oh, sorry, we got a touch here and a couple of touches here, a few touches there, touch there, touch. I actually don't mind that. So I would like 2 legs up, or even possibly a break here because we haven't come down that far, but it is working on that midline, so we've had a break. I think a new low, but we haven't. Was it a matching low? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you get into trades like that and lose them, you really do learn a lot. So what I would say to you, if you are at the level where you're getting trapped by stuff like that, don't beat yourself up. Just remember what you'll automatically remember anyway, because you're invested in it. You know, you're invested. If you've got any type of financial connection to that, you're in it. And you've got emotions, a connection with that, and that makes you not forget this sort of stuff. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of different setups and different way the market sort of, prints out, and you don't remember every tiny little bit, but you'll have a feeling. That's how it started for me. I couldn't work out what it was, but I had a feeling that I don't like this. Something doesn't feel right. And whenever I felt like that, a lot of the times it would have gone against me. So, you just build up that sort of inner experience, which you can't really put your finger on sometimes. Sometimes it's obvious, but it was not so much obvious there, but the alarm bell for me was just the bars stacking sideways. Sometimes it can still work. Even bad setups still work sometimes. But you do learn a lot. So, leg and a leg. I need to get closer to that EMA, really. There's kind of like a possible triple test there, but 1, 2, 3. We've got to get way closer to that, really. There is a triple test there. That's very tempting. I would prefer that a bit closer to that EMA, but I would say that would probably work. The trouble is, when I'm a trade up, I want something really good. 1, 2, 3. My slight concern is that double bottom. But we've come down. We've got once, twice, 3 times. Let's see how it ends. I would prefer that just a bit closer. But I would, it is a triple test, I think. Once, twice, 3 times. I'd expect it to work. Well, there you go, it has done. But when I'm up a trade, I'm kind of in a nice, happy, safe place. And unless I see something which is just like pure magic, I'd rather just all hold back. Where did that go from? Not as much as I would have thought. So 1, 2, 5, it would have to push through, so you'd have got a point scalp off that. If you entered that a tick below there, I mean, it's probably going to come down some more, but with that first initial push, we broke below these lows, you'd have had a point, because most of the time it's got to tick through, so you'd have had a point there. So anything more, you'd have had to sit tight. That double bottom is telling me just be a bit cautious here. I would much prefer that a little bit more of a breakout, but I still think it'll work. But not enough to get into the trade. So for me, it's just it's a sit tight and hold on. My other concern is that there is a bigger channel here, which means it could go a bit higher. If I hadn't already taken a trade, I would have taken it. But while I'm already up a bit, I'd rather just sit tight. So how far has that gone? See, I want 2 points off. The trouble is, if you're taking it, there's not a great deal of room to the lows, and as Max says, we want to get out before the lows. But being at a triple test, I think there's a fair chance it's going to go down quite a ways more. Certainly to here. It's certainly the safest looking bar here, really. It's right at the top of this if you put your stop there, so I think that'll be good for 2 points. Nice profit on PA. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. It does seem to be a little channel going there, so I do think that'll make 2 points. If I hadn't taken a trade, I would have taken it. My only slight gripe there is, you know, Mac tells us we need room for the lows, and there wasn't a lot there. So, but when we have a break, we have had 3 attempts to go higher. So usually for me, when that happens, we're going to move down with our next leg done. So this is coming down some more. Surely that's going to hit 2 points. I'd be confident that I'd jump in that now. Yeah, so comfortably 2 points. I don't think it's finished yet. We have got a little short-term trend channel coming down here, but after the leg down and 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher, it's got to come down for another leg, really. So that would have worked. Perhaps I should have taken it, but if I'm up and I'm up nicely for the day, I'd rather just sit tight rather than... If I had 10 accounts and I was trading them 5 and 5, then I would have had a go at that. Maybe on the second lot. But I am surprised how many setups we're getting at the moment. Good trade there, good trade there, good trade there. I don't think that one was that bad. That one, a little bit congested, but we are testing the underside, so we definitely get more setups. We struggled for a while, didn't we? We're all chit-chatting over the last few weeks saying, where's all the trend, the channel's gone, all the setups gone, and all of a sudden, last week was much better. I ended up, I think, about 7 points last week, which is pretty, I'm more than happy with. If I can get 5 points, an average of 5 points over a week, I'm pleased with that. Anything above that, it's a bonus for me. I don't want to be too greedy or have too much expectations. And also, I don't really want to set monetary targets because you can obviously, with all the will in the world, you can't make money without the markets allowing your setup. I'm just going to remove that a minute. So leg down, 2 legs of correction, and another leg down. So I'd be pretty sure that's going to fill that gap now. Certainly the measured leg, once it gets so far down there, it makes sense. It's only got to go another point just to fill that gap. So with those, that 2 legs of correction for me, that was an even nicer setup. 2 clear legs. It's a fail break out of here. Trap in some longs. Yeah, so just in this little trend here, there's been a lovely trend setup there and there. Both really nice, perfect setups, really. Perfect Pat style setups. We come down once, twice, 3 times. I should have taken it really, but this double bottom and the way it was looking on the NQ. No, I don't even think it was that, to be honest with you, because I'm up nicely. I don't want to jeopardise what I've got if I can. If I can get 3 setups in a week, if I can be up 3 winning trades in a week, that's $600 plus per week per account. So that's plenty for me. So when I get a nice setup like that, I'm quite happy just to sort of take the green and leave it at that, really. One and done type thing. Sometimes you see these setups and you think, this is too good to be true, isn't it? We've had 2 in one swing. I've gone 2 days without seeing a setup. Okay, once, twice. Okay. Would you call that a triple test? Once, twice? Yeah, maybe. See, for me, that's all one move, but the way it's sitting, once, twice, three times, I would say that's quite likely a triple test. Let's see how it finishes. Just not sure whether I would consider that as one complete move. Actually, it looks... I mean, it's kind of a nice looking short there, I think, anyway, really. No, I think I'll probably consider this just one move at the moment. It is two little pushes, but once, twice, three times. I prefer to come up again, I think, really. Trouble is, there's always a possibility of a bigger channel there, and we could get to this area before it pushes down, and either it's that measured move or fills that gap, or one of the both. Okay, let's see this bull bar trigger, and then come down for a triple test. So that's one attempt to go higher. I think that is one move for me personally. And this is a third attempt. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But there is a second entry short possibly forming on here. Fat fetish is bearish. I think that's a nice trade there. Lower high, second entry short. Is it going a bit sideways? So, one attempt, two attempts, maybe two legs up, three attempts, triple test, and then down. Who knows? I haven't taken these. I've just marked them. I'm up sort of one trade, so I'm kind of happy at the moment. So I'm just watching really. I think at the moment, but yeah, there is some nice setups there. Two nice legs up. Fail break out of this. Work to treat. Triple test. 1, 2, 3. Nice triple test. This looks very similar to this setup. Two legs up, a leg and a leg. And a fail break out the range. It looks better on the NQ at the moment. I'd have preferred it to hit that that line, which is why I put that line there. But let's see how that fits. 1, 2, triple test. We'll see. But yeah, there's been some kind of nice setups there. If you'd have taken that one and that one, they weren't really nice trades. They are. I'd say sort of very textbook, leg and a leg. That one certainly. 1, 2, 3, triple test, worked the beauty. I wanted to take it. The trouble is, a lot of these triple tests do, when you make them, they do come down for another leg. So we've got a leg and a leg. Trouble is, I've had it drummed into me, make sure you get out for the lows, and there really wasn't enough points for the lows. If you got in a tick below, you've got to push through. So just the fact that we've had that double bottom there just puts a slight caution on that. But I actually think it was a nice trade. I've been fighting a 50k account, top stick eggs, but past it a few losses and wins, and I'm actually tired. Yeah, it can it can tire you out, I got to say. Yeah. Two legs up and a bearish bar. That one there. I would prefer to get closer to here there, but two legs up. Oh. Trouble is, I don't like this at the moment. So, leg and a leg. I'd much prefer to get closer to this, but we'll see. See how that gets on. We haven't come down to these to fill this gap yet, see, so let's just shove it out of the way. We're not far off. Maybe 2 points, just under 2 points. Effort reversal. I'll be surprised if it doesn't come down and fill this gap. Let's see what happens here. Above the May, yeah. Let me have a look. So, what's the NQ doing? Oh, up we go. I've been watching some of Mac's premium videos again. He says 2 PSL is max, 2 point stop loss is max, but it seems large bars, I don't, yeah. It's definitely changed. If you look back at some of his older videos, I've seen him give 3 ticks above the signal bar and still been risking a 1.5. So it's definitely changed. You know, there's a lot more liquidity going through the markets now, so it makes sense, doesn't it? That if the thing is, if the risks, if your risk is bigger, that means the bars are bigger. So you can't just say, well, my signal bar has bigger risk, because so all bars are bigger, aren't they? Including your profit as well. So you know, it makes sense. You have to sort of go as things change. The bars get bigger. I mean, let's say the bars get bigger and bigger and bigger, and up to on average of 4 points, just still only take only a point risk. It just doesn't make sense, does it? You'd have to be able to get about 93% win rate just to start making money. So, for me personally, I think 6 ticks profit is the starting point. I think 2 points is the sweet spot. If you go back and look at the trades, look at your trades, just make notes of them. So every trade I've marked here has gone for over. That clearly went for over 2 points. In fact, we never came back up. That actually went for whatever points there. That would have went for clearly over 2 points. That one didn't come back. That one, that one, that one. Every single trade went for 2 points. So if you're still scalping a point, let's say you're trading one contract, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades there. That's $300, scalping a point. If you just scalp 2 points, you'd be up $600. So you've doubled your money. Now, I know the odd chance one might not work, but if you take 10, I would say it's probably about 95% of the time you'll double your money. 95% of the time. If it was 60% or 50% of the time, then maybe it's not worth doing. But 95%, it's an absolute no-brainer for me. Every single one of those trades I've marked today, I would say the one that went for the least amount would be that one. And that one, if you went a tick below 6 points, so you'd have got 5 3/4 points out of that. That was the smallest one today. So even if you went for 4 points, you would be going for it's scalp at points or go for 4 points. You would win 4 times the amount of money. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades. So instead of making $300, you'd be up $1,200. You could afford to lose the next 3 trades in a row and still be up. So for me, a point is an absolute waste of time. That's my personal opinion. Now, I'm not saying Mac's doing it wrong. I would bet you any amount of money that Mac's scalp would be his basic wage. He would make money on his runners. He's an experienced trader. He would make money on his runners. He would just know where they're going. So, but yeah, for me, 2 points minimum, really. 2 points is the sweet spot. But yeah, I think, see, I did a year with Mac on his website, and then I had about 6 months off. And then I went and did another year, because it's always good to go back over the basics. No matter, I mean, if you look at, I don't know, let's talk about, I know, professional tennis players, people like Andy Murray, won Wimbledon, 2 or 3 times? Why would a person who's probably in the top 5 tennis players in the world have a coach? Why would one of the best in the world need a coach? Because you still need to concentrate on the basics. If you ever watch cricket players, I know a lot of US guys don't. You look at cricket players, you look at batsmen, they still practice their swing. They go through the motions, even though they've hit that ball in the nets tens of thousands of times, they still practice their swing. Even like golfers, how many times do you see golfers practicing their swing? Because you always need the basics. So I think if you've been with Mac before, I think it's useful to maybe have a break and then go back. What I might do, I might go back and have another year, maybe later in the year or something. Because it is good to go over the basics. You know, they're your bread and butter, really, and sometimes you can get into bad habits. A good case of bad habits, I think, is the Panda guy. Now, I know for a fact he's made some money in trading in the past. I know he has. I've seen some of his payouts and stuff like that. And if you look back on a lot of his older videos, he was making money. And then he kind of moved from Mac to a bit of Al Brooks and a bit of his own. And to me, he's gone into a place of bad habits where he's sort of forgotten where he's come from, if you know what I mean. He's sort of lost his roots. So I think it's good to go back and finish the basics. And it's a shame, really, to see someone who I know's made money before just seem to be having red day after red day after red days. It's a shame, really. And it just goes to show how, you know, why it's useful to just go back and just, you know, relearn things and just keep the basics. Because it is easy to get into bad habits. Sometimes you almost forget how to trade. You know, you get like a world-class sort of athlete or something, they have a couple of losses and it gets in their head, and they have all these coaching and this psychology. So even the most motivatedly driven people in the world still have coaches. They still have psychological coaches. They still go through that battle. It doesn't matter who you are. So I think it's always good to keep the basics, keep practicing your swing, so to speak. So, what is going on here? So, I'm not sure what's going on here now. I'm just going to get rid of that for a minute. That volume's actually a little bit low today, isn't it? I mean, look at the volume on... Where was the open? Here. The open was here. We had just as much volume there pre-market than we've had today. Weird, isn't it? Kind of surprised with that. When I opened that up, I thought, something's wrong. I've got yesterday's chart or something. There was that much volume. I mean, this was the sort of main market, 9:30 US. I mean, look at all that massive amount of volume. It's a little lower today. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to finish now. It's I've done 2 hours. I have left a couple of setups here because I kind of like where I am today. I'm in a nice place. So I'm actually going to leave it there and have an early day today. I usually do about 3 hours, but I'm in a good place today, so I want to go on a high, nice and green. So... definitely more setups around today. Last week as well, same again, more setups. So, fingers crossed. Sometimes you think that all the setups are gone and you're knackered. You're going to have to start. I mean, we're even talking about other strategies last week, but then last week seemed to be better. And this week, so far, so good. Monday, really good Monday. Definitely a load of setups. And it ain't over yet. So you're welcome, mate. So that's it today, folks. So if you're carrying on trading, I'd say best of luck. I hope you get some setups. I think you probably will, based on what I've seen so far. So I hope you get some nice green. If you've not taken anything yet, I hope you stay out of the red. So I appreciate your comments. So have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll be back here again tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a productive day again. So bye for now.